Alright everybody, welcome. Today's match is going to be with the Butcher. Yes, the new Eternal Battlefield, whatever you want to call it, patch is out today, and I'm going to be doing a first impressions match of the Butcher. So I'm not real familiar with him so far, so we're going to be learning stuff together. His Q ability is Hamstring. It basically slams down the ground in a straight line, deals damage, it slows enemies by 50%. His W ability is the Butcher's Brand. It does a little bit of damage, and then your basic attacks heal you for 75% of the damage done over 5 seconds. His E ability is the Ruthless Onslaught. He charges an enemy, and then he will stop him. He's also unstoppable when he's charging the enemy, so that's important to note. We're going to be picking up our level 1 talent. I'm going to try out Victuals. And the reason for that is, we don't have a healer. Let's go ahead and charge in on this enemy Butcher, but I don't want to go too far in. Yeah, I just don't want to go too far in. Living Bomb, it hurt, all that stuff's happening. I'm trying to talk him out the first impressions, so let's just go back down here. His trait is called Fresh Meat. Everything he kills, minions and heroes alike, drop Fresh Meat. And then he can pick it up, and it will increase his overall damage. So it's very important that you collect these stacks so that you can do maximum damage as the Butcher. Let's go ahead and hamstring that guy. Pick up a few of those stacks, so the Fresh Meat, and then just come back here. So yeah, basically what you want to do is try to get as many stacks as you can before you're engaging in these team fights so that your Butcher is doing maximum damage. Oh boy, we're in a bunch of trouble here. Hopefully Anubrak can help me out. Can you help me out? Thank you, Anubrak. The Butcher has absolutely no mobility and absolutely nothing for escapes. I think all in all, I haven't studied his talents too closely. It's charge on the enemy, this slam, use the hamstring, and holy crap, apparently Anubrak is dead. Or gone. No, he's gone. He must have fallen back. Wow, I really misplayed there. Okay, Anubrak lagged out, so he must have been engaging in the battle as I thought. Take top. We don't have vision for mid. So it looks like Murky's actually, never mind. Nobody's on the middle temple there, which is surprising. But we're going to come in here. We're going to engage on this enemy Butcher here. Use our hamstring so that we can keep our life up. And then we're going to charge Tychus and make sure that he goes down. Then we'll come down here and we're going to start working on the enemy Butcher because we know he's squishy. We know he's squishy, and so is that Kelthus. We're going to slow him with our Q. And then we're just going to have to back off a little bit here as our buddy Anubrak doesn't really have the life to engage there. So we're just going to hang back over here for a moment. I lost all my stacks, so we're not hitting for very hard. We can charge on the enemy Kelthus, use our hamstring, attack a little bit. He is going to throw me up in the gravity laps, and we're going to be in a ton of trouble here. I'm going to have to back off a little bit, unfortunately. We're getting tons of spam pings from Murky. And I need to pick up my next talent. What is it gonna be? I think I'm going to try Cheap Shot. So now my hamstring is going to do additional damage once after I run and stun them. But now I'm going to have to fall back. I'm going to get stunned by the enemy Butcher. The Flame Strike is coming down. We're going to slow him to help Vala get away. Thank you, Vala. Thank you very much. Thanks, Vala. Thank you. And then we're going to recall to get some health back. So this is going to be kind of a tough match as we have no support. And like I said, the Butcher is very squishy. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to for me. Basically the same thing when Kelthus came out. I really had to get used to not being able to do anything. We're going to have to fall back here once again as we're just taking way too much damage. They are engaging on our Vala, so we're going to slow down this Butcher here. And we're going to get the kill on him. And actually I'm going to charge this Tychus and use my hamstring. Oh, no, not gonna use my hamstring. I feel like the hamstring has a little bit of a delay to it. It doesn't feel like it when it gets off, but there are several times so far that I've used my Q ability where it just doesn't do anything, and there's really no reason that it wouldn't have done anything. So, not sure if that's really intended to be that way or if it's just me, but we are going to be picking up our level 7 talent. I am going to be picking up the Abattoir. I don't think that's how you say it. Let's engage on the enemy Butcher here, use our hamstring, and then use our W to get our health back, but he is going to slow us so that we can't engage. So basically what my last talent does is it increases the amount of stacks that I can get by 35, and I also get to keep half of them. Let's come back here and actually drink from the well so that when I engage, I have that heal over time on me. which is kind of useless now. But I'm going to head down to this bottom area. Let's go this way. I don't want to run into... Although if it's just the Butcher, I don't mind running into myself. I don't mind running into myself. Let's come down in here, engage a little bit. I just want to get a few more of those stacks of the fresh meat so that my auto attacks are dealing max damage when we get down here into the fight. And we are going to charge right on top of the enemy Butcher here, use our hamstring for that additional damage, and then we're going to switch to Nazebo as he is very low on health. Come on, baby, use the W. Use the W. There we go. We got the W off, but the zombie wall is stopping us in our tracks. We are able to take him down with the hamstring there. Boy, that was a little scary. Certainly very intense working with this guy. We're going to use the hamstring on Gazlo, and then we're going to have to back off a little bit. I will engage on that Kelthus if I have to, though. The living bomb is going to go off, and we are going to go up here and deal with this Tychus, who is now on the run. Damage done already, Tychus. Damage is done. But we'll get to pick up that fresh meat and then just kind of continue to clear up some of these lanes. Since we have that temple held down fine, we should be able to gather some XP. No reason to have everybody down there if they're not going to fully contest. Especially when you got lanes like this pushing. But that's okay. We need these minions. We need these minions to get a fresh meat. Ugh, Butcher is a hungry man. He's a hungry, hungry hitman. Also, I don't think I mentioned, when you kill an enemy hero or an enemy hero dies, they drop 3 stacks of the fresh meat. We're actually at full, so we're at maximum damage right now. We don't have to worry about that as much, and we're level 10. I'm going to be trying out the Furnace Blast, basically a giant AoE that does a bunch of damage. It spawns on top of you, so it's not something that you cast on the area. Let's come around this way here and then engage on this Tychus. We're going to use our charge. Throw down the hamstring, use their ultimate, and come on, is it gonna happen? There we go, and the Furnace Blast is going to take out both of those heroes. Boy, that is a really long delay. I did not realize it was so long. We're gonna come down to the bottom lane here and help secure this kill on the enemy Butcher. We're gonna use our charge so we can stick to him like glue, use our W and our hamstring. Come on, baby, use, boy, you gotta be so close for that thing. Hamstring, hamstring, there we go. We do secure the kill with the hamstring. It is so intense with this guy. Maybe it's just because I haven't really played him, so I don't know. But it is really intense. Really intense. It's like you have no idea if when you charge in you're going to die or not. We're going to charge on the enemy Nazebo here, use our W and our hamstring to slow him down. And this guy's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere, and he's not trapping me in the zombie well. Not this time. But man, holy crap. Look at how much my auto attacks are doing. Let's come up here and just hit this thing. 328 is my auto attack. I say we back off right here. We can use our W. He's using his heroic, so we're not going to be moving anywhere as he's using Lands of the Slaughter. But we need to back off. We are in Kelthus's heroic as well, and I have no mana. So I'm actually going to try to find a good spot to recall. Hopefully we can get out of there. Right there. Okay. So we're going to recall, regain some of our strength here, and then re-engage on the battle. Things aren't going too bad. They're a little crazy, a little hectic. That's okay. For my level 13 talent, I'm going to be picking up, I think I'm going to go with Ruthless Onslaught, deals extra damage. Heroes equal to 15% of their current health. Interesting. So using Onslaught at full health, or when they're at full health, is going to deal a lot more damage. We do need a little bit of help here. I'm going to engage on the enemy Kelthus. Use my heroic here. Hopefully we can get everybody. Here we go. We got a couple of them. We're going to have to use our W here to try to get some of our health back. Look at that. We're getting lots of our health back. The gravel bomb coming out is going to hurt a bit, but we're going to get away from that just fine. Just fine. So, yeah, we're really just struggling to stay alive and keep our health up here. Let's actually just use our W. This is going to help our health drastically. As you can see, pretty much every attack is healing a pretty substantial amount. And because of that level 1 talent, we are getting healed every time we pick up the fresh meat stacks. Even though we're at full stacks, they still drop so that we can get that additional health. So there we go. Get a little bit of HPs back. A little bit of the HPs. It looks like a Nubarak wants to engage on the boss, but okay. That's probably better. That's okay. We'll come down here and help him pick up these giants here instead. It looks like Nazebo is thinking about engaging. We're going to charge on him, use our hamstring and our W ability, and basically just cruise him into the next life. Works good to me. Looks good. Butcher is coming in, and Nubarak's doing a good job of scaring him off. Murky wants to grab this boss. I don't know. I suppose. Honestly, I think the Butcher could probably solo bosses in the late game because of his W ability. I'm pretty sure he could. It probably would not be a very safe or smart thing to do unless you know you're not going to get jumped. Because it's something that was most likely going to get all of your health taken out, and you're going to barely get away with getting the kill on that boss. Our level 16 talents here, I'm going to be going with Blood Frenzy. Fresh meat grants attack speed. So let's see how fast we attack now. Well, we probably don't want to go in too close. We don't want to go in too close quite yet, not without our minion wave. But we can come down here and engage on the enemy Tychus and test out our attack speed there. We're going to come in, we're going to charge, we're going to use our Furnace Blast. Move, 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 move. There we go, we got both of them. We're going to use our Hamstring. Oh, he got me in his heroic. Okay, let's use the Hamstring on the enemy Butcher. Make sure we secure that kill as well. So yeah, his other heroic is called Lambs of the Slaughter. And what it does is it basically chains somebody to an area and they can't leave that small area. It's a really, really fun heroic, I think. It looks really fun. The only problem with it is that it can be cleansed, so I don't see it being used in a lot of competitive matches, unless, you know, the enemy team for some reason isn't going to have a cleanse. I guess I could see that maybe being useful at that point. Or at level 20, you can get it so that it chains basically anybody in the area. So, you know, that way they couldn't cleanse everybody, just one target. But what's this thing called? The Furnace Blast, I like that. It does a lot of damage. It has a super slow delay, but it does do a lot of damage. It looks like the enemy team is bush ganking our buddy. A new Barak, we're going to charge in here, use our W, and try to burn down this enemy Butcher. Yes, we can do that very quickly. And now we're on the enemy Nizebo. Come on, baby! Okay, we're going to switch on to Tychus. We're going to use our Hamstring to slow him down. Our charge is almost up. Well, it's got a little while left. And we missed our Hamstring, but here comes the charge. Here comes the charge. We got him with the charge, and we are able to secure that kill with our insane amount of auto attack damage. Look at 488? Oh my god. What the heck? What is happening? What is happening? Does he really do that much auto attack damage at level 18? That's more than anybody in the game, I think, at level 20 even. He's putting Sergeant Hammer to shame. And I mean, look at this attack speed because of that earlier talent that we got. Let's step out of the zombie wall there. We don't want to get caught into that. That could prove to be very fateful and deadly to us as the Butcher. But now we can come in here and we can see how fast we can attack. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That auto attack damage is huge. It looks like we are going to be pushing on this center fort a little bit here. There we go. We just want to make sure. Let's charge on the enemy Gazlo, actually. Use our Hamstring, and we do take out that keep. Very nice. We were able to secure the kill on the keep. And now I'm going to come up top and start working with this Vala. This game is turning into a landslide fast. For level 20, let's pick up Nexus Blade. Since our auto attacks are crazy, stupid, strong, why not? They're going to be even stronger now. Let's actually engage on the enemy Gazlo, even though we screwed up. Use our Furnace Blast. Come on, baby. We did get the Furnace Blast, but I think we're going to die. I think we're going to die. Yes, we are. We got a little crazy. We got a little crazy. Enemy Butcher does fall, of course. Look at all the fresh meat all over the ground. PETA would be having a frickin' heart attack right now. I mean, honestly, obviously, that was not a smart move to charge in there, but I was just getting a little carried away, a little excited to go in for the kill. And it does look like it's going to be the end of the game, so really no harm in getting a little crazy at that point. Is it going to be the end of the game? Looks like my friendly team is thinking not. Win? I mean, I guess Azmodan doesn't have any mana. He probably has enough to do a little bit of a charge on it. There we go. There we go. Good game, everybody. Good game. That is going to finish it off. Azmodan and that laser beam. That was really, really intense. Holy crap, that was intense. I think for my final build impressions for the Butcher, we are going to not be able to focus so much on what is going on and all the things I normally try to touch on. Maybe we'll just do it at the end of the match or something, because that was intense. So basically, we can take a look. We were #1 in damage, not too surprising when we're hitting for almost 500 with their auto attack. We didn't do a whole lot for siege damage, and then XP contribution, you know, around just stats that probably don't matter as much to the Butcher. Siege damage, I could see him doing a pretty significant amount late game. Because, I mean, if you're hitting for 400, 500 auto attack damage that fast, you are going to be able to knock down buildings pretty quick, I would imagine. So this is my thoughts on the Butcher so far. They're probably going to change drastically, but so far, my thoughts on the Butcher is if you enjoy a really good adrenaline rush, if you like your blood pumping, if you like risk versus reward, this is probably the hero for you. If you don't like that, then, you know, maybe not go balls in with the Butcher in quick match. Maybe only play him when you have a team that you know can support him, because I haven't played him with a healer on my team yet. I don't know. I've only played a couple games with them, so I don't exactly know how much more comfortable he is to play when you have a healer. So far, I haven't had a healer, and every time I charge in, it's that feeling of, oh my gosh, am I going to die, or am I going to just completely murder everybody? Either one can happen. I mean, as you can see, the enemy Butcher was having a super rough time, whereas I was having just on a freaking killing spree. And to me, you know, it could easily go both ways. You could easily end up as the type of hero who's just dying and feeding over and over, because once you use that charge, once you go into battle, there's no going back. It's kill or be killed, and that's pretty much what the Butcher feels like to me at this point so far. He's a kill or be killed hero. You go all in or you don't go in at all is kind of the way he feels so far. I'm really looking forward to using him in more of a competitive setting like Hero League, because I think that in those type of situations it's going to be very different as far as the way that you can play the Butcher. But in quick match, it's kind of a free-for-all, so, you know, it's very dangerous engaging with this guy. You know, but it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed him so far. We can look over the talents I picked. I don't even know what they all do off the top of my head, so... Victualist heals for 3% of your maximum health when you collect fresh meat. Meat continues to drop at maximum stacks. So I took this because we did not have a support on our team. I think I would have gone with something else if we did have a healer, but I needed some way to get my health back up so I didn't have to be recalling constantly. Level 4, I went with Cheap Shot, which I actually liked. I did like that. Hamstring does 100% more damage to targets affected by a slow, root, or stun. So the setup here is you use your charge, stun them, and then hit them with the hamstring. So, I mean, I liked it. I think it worked out pretty well. It's the first time I used it. And then Abattoir increases the maximum number of fresh meat stacks to 35, and you only lose half upon death. I mean, that just seems super, super good. I'll have to look over what the other ones are, but that seems... I mean, unless you're dying all the time, which, you know, you have bigger problems at that point, this seems like the best way to go, because you're going to get an additional 10 stacks, and if you do die, you only lose half of them, so you can jump back into the battle without having to go in with no fresh meat. The enemy Butcher, looks like he went with increases the Ruthless Onslaught range by 33% and causes you to lunge at the enemy when close to impact. I haven't tried it, so I don't want to say anything negative against it, but from... so far, I would say I don't like the sounds of this talent, because it feels like you can charge from halfway across the map. I mean, he has a really, really long range that he will chase you down and stun you. So I don't feel like this is it's not very necessary, considering you can get 10 more stacks of your fresh blood and make your auto attack super strong. And then I went with the Furnace Blast Heroic. It says, after a 3-second delay, fire explodes around you, dealing 300 damage to enemies. Can be cast while using Ruthless Onslaught. Okay, so you can actually cast this, use your charge, and then hopefully it'll blow up shortly after you stun them. So that I did not know. Maybe I should start doing that. He went with Lambs to the Slaughter. It's a really fun-looking heroic. Like I said, if the enemy team has a cleanse, it's not going to do you a lot of good, as they're probably just going to cleanse it. Same situation with Murky. You know, he can lock you down with the Octo Grab for several seconds, but if it gets cleansed, it's just not that useful. So if you're up against a team that's probably going to be picking up cleanse, avoid this one. If not, like I said, it looks like a lot of fun. It's certainly hilarious when people are trapped to it and they're trying to leave and they're just like ding, ding, ding. So we'll have to try that one out sometime. I went with the Savage Charge at 13. Ruthless Onslaught deals bonus damage to heroes equal to 15% of their current health. So I think this is doing a lot of damage. I can't really say for certain, but it sounds like it's doing a lot of damage. The enemy butcher went with Crave Flesh. While an enemy is affected by the butcher brand, you gain a 30% movement speed. I mean, the brand I think the brand lasts for like 5 seconds, so this actually might not be such a bad ability because it might give you some escape, but it's really hard to land the brand. You have to be like standing on top of somebody to land this, so I don't know. Some experimenting definitely could be done with that talent there. And then level 16, Fresh Meat also increases your attack speed by 1% per attack. So I'm basically getting 35% attack speed with 35 stacks. Match that up with level 20 Nexus Blades doing 20% more damage and a slow. I mean, the Butcher is going to be a nightmare to deal with if you can keep him alive. So there you guys have it. Let's, one last thing I guess we could do real quick is just go over his abilities so that you can see him. The Hamstring deals damage in area and slows enemies. And when it says area, it pretty much means in a straight line. So you can easily miss this ability. It's important to note that. W ability, brand an enemy, causing basic attacks to heal you for 5 seconds. So it's a really great way. This is kind of how he gets his sustain. And I think this is what I need to really become comfortable with the Butcher to give final thoughts on, because he kind of feels like Thrall in a way. You know, he can do a ton of damage. I mean, he obviously does way more burst damage than Thrall can, but he has that sustain based on his attacks like Thrall does. So I'll have to play around with that and figure out how much sustain exactly you get by using the Butcher brand. And then the Ruthless Onslaught charges a unit, stunning and dealing damage. We use that a whole lot. You're unstoppable and you gain movement speed, so when you reach the target, they are stunned for 1 second and take some damage. There's obviously a range on this, but it seems long as heck. I mean, you guys saw I chased people from pretty far distances with that, and I still was able to land the stun. And then Fresh Meat, gathering strength by killing enemies and collecting their meat. This is a terrible way to write this trait. It doesn't give you any indication of what it's actually doing, but basically it's making you hit harder. I don't know. I'm assuming your abilities also hit harder. Everything hits harder, but it doesn't specify. I know for sure that your auto attack is hitting like a truck when you got stacks of these, though. And then there was 2 heroics. We already talked about those, so like I said, just a first impressions video. I will come out with a more definitive thoughts on the Butcher once I've had some time to play around with them. But at this point, I need to choose all the different talents and try to come up with some different ways to play them before I can really give you guys some good information. But I'm hoping that this will help people out there who want to try out the Butcher, see how he's played before they jump into a match, because it can be pretty crazy intense. I'm sorry it was not a very fun match to watch, but unfortunately it's quick match. It's kind of the reason why I haven't played a lot of quick match or even the game of lately. It's because all the games just kind of feel like landslides at this point. So I think it might just be my, the level I'm at. At this point, it's just matching me up with all sorts of different people, whereas when I was leveling up to 40, I felt like my matchmaking was a little bit better. It was putting me in matches with, I don't know, I guess it's hard to explain, but it's been very difficult, and all these matches seem like such landslide victories, but it's a first impressions match, so we'll have to take it or leave it. Until next time, guys.